Hello, I'm David Roger, General Counsel for the Las Vegas Police Protective Association. It seems like all I do is give you guys bad news these days, but here's another Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals decision. It's Chinaryan, Chinaryan versus LAPD. And this is an August 2024 case. And I'm going to give you the spoiler alert first, and then we'll discuss the case. And the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, in analyzing a high-risk traffic stop, which is, ordering people out at gunpoint and proning them out and then cuffing them up, in a possession of stolen vehicle case without any other evidence that the occupants may be armed and dangerous, violates the Fourth Amendment, and they analyzed it in terms of Graham versus Connor and the use of weapons as a form of force. So let's talk about this case a little bit and see if we can't narrow down the holding. And so in this particular case, LAPD gets a hit on a vehicle. The vehicle had been stolen 2 days earlier. A sergeant follows the car for a distance, sees that it's occupied a couple of times. The car is not evasive at all, as a marked unit, presumably marked unit, is behind it. They bring in additional resources according to the opinion. They had an air unit overhead. According to the opinion, there are 12 officers there. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they relied upon. And they pulled the occupants, 2 females and a minor, out of the vehicle at gunpoint. There is no evidence that the people were armed or dangerous ahead of time, because it was a grand larceny auto, so there was no suspect information. And the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals said that, there were 2 previous cases a number of years back that addressed this issue, and they held that the officers should not have been given qualified immunity, and that under the circumstances in which officers use high-risk stop to address a possession stolen vehicle case was excessive in light of Graham versus Connor, and decided that the officers should stand trial. So here are a couple of circumstances that the Supreme Court relied upon. First, the car was followed by a marked unit, and the driver didn't use evasive tactics. 2, when the officers lit up the vehicle, the driver pulled over immediately and cooperated. 3, the car was stolen 2 days earlier, and so they don't have kind of an immediate commission of a felony in which the driver would presumably be the main suspect. 4, there's no evidence that the occupants were armed beforehand. And then 5, there is no evidence that the car was linked to a violent crime. So when we're looking at this case, I don't know that we need to jump to the decision that all high-risk stops violate Graham versus Connor. There are circumstances in which a person in possession of a stolen vehicle might be appropriately addressed in a high-risk stop, where you pull them out at gunpoint and you prone them out. So, for example, if the car was just recently stolen, like hours earlier or even that day, that might suffice for a high-risk stop. If the car was used in a violent crime, an armed robbery, carjacking, those types of things, that might also satisfy the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. But yeah, if you're going to do a high-risk stop on a stolen vehicle, make sure that you articulate all the information that you have ahead of time. Was the vehicle stolen within hours of you coming in contact with it? Was the vehicle used in a violent crime? Do you have suspect information, which would suggest that the driver of that vehicle is armed and dangerous? Is the registered owner wanted? So, all of these factors would likely justify a high-risk stop under the totality of the circumstances. But you have to be able to articulate these circumstances. And so I know sometimes there's a knee-jerk reaction where a case comes out and people go, oh my God, we can't do high-risk stops anymore. That's not the case at all. It's not the case that you can never do a high-risk stop in cases of possession of stolen vehicle, but you need additional factors. And in this case, bad facts make bad laws, because the car ended up not being stolen. The occupants were cooperative, 2 females and a minor. And so you can see where all of these circumstances, these collateral circumstances, would motivate a court to make such a decision. In addition, so first, make sure that you're able to articulate circumstances more than just the vehicle is stolen if you're going to do a high-risk stop. But secondly, in what we call dicta, and dicta means that there's language discussion in the opinion that isn't controlling, but it kind of gives us an idea of how the court would view different circumstances. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals suggested in that decision at page 20 that a tactical investigative stop might have been appropriate under the circumstances. And under, I guess, LAPD tactics, a tactical investigative stop is where you don't go up to the vehicle, but you stand behind the driver and passenger's door, you order them out, you order them to keep their hands up, turn around, pull up their shirts so that they're not armed, and then having them stand at the front of the car. And so you might consider that as an alternative if you're not certain whether you have sufficient circumstances to order people out at gunpoint. So this isn't a good decision. Hopefully, this case is appealed up to the United States Supreme Court because they're the only court that can overturn the Ninth Circuit and stop this craziness. But in the interim, that is the decision. As always, thank you for watching these videos. Please hit like, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get these videos in a more timely fashion. And thank you very much for what you do. Contact me if you have any questions, droger@lvppa.com.
111, 110.